tuned for a special announcement.
All right, here we go. Get ready to have a good time. This is exciting, isn't it?
All right, we're on. Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Look at me.
Podcaster.
Look at me.
Podcaster.
I'm the captain now.
Podcaster.
Garry.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Garry.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's Garry Meier.
It's the Friday, April 1st, 2022 edition of The Garry Meier Show, Cocktail Hour Live.
Cocktails. Woo! Drinks.
Thanks for joining us promptly at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain, 3 Pacific, and so forth. Today's show has a big announcement and some surprises, so stick with me briefly through these routine details to get to the news. Our preferred streaming platform is YouTube. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to be notified when we're live. Whether you watch live or queue up a replay, be sure to like and share the show on all of your favorite social media channels. These things help the show, and if you've done them already, thanks! Comments are always welcome too, and when we're live, and you comment on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, we may show it on the screen, and Garry may talk about it. Okay, with the routine details out of the way, time to reveal the news. After much consideration, Garry has decided to follow in the retirement planning footsteps of entertainment giants like Barbra Streisand, Elton John, and countless others. Garry's launching his Endless Farewell to Yappetizers and Nonsense tour later in 2022. The first venue announcements and ticket sales will be coming along very soon. Of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. On today's very special edition of the show, to look back on his legendary career, I reached out and gathered former radio and TV colleagues for a roundtable. To moderate the panel, another Chicago living legend, you might say, has weathered it all. So fasten your seatbelts, it's time to go wheels up with a very special panel on a very special edition of the GarrForce Live.
I assume that was an April Fool's joke because I have no idea what that would be. Thank you, Alan. Let me kick the tires and light the fires. Let's get that going so we can go wheels up. There are the tires. Light them up. There they go. All right. Alan, that was all bullshit, right?
Well, you're on an endless retirement tour already, right? It's going to happen at some point.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Someday.
If
10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I don't know.
If I was in Orlando, I'd slap you, motherfucker. Keep your fucking mouth shut with my name. All right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
Well, this is what happens when Garry misbehaves and he's not at control of the board.
Warning, this discussion is going to get quite graphic.
The scary part is that Alan controls everything and he could just, goodbye, and that would be it. Hey, to that note, while I'm on that tirade, that fake tirade, Scott said in his comment, I'm not fucking leaving. And he's quoting the Wolf of Wall Street, where Leonardo DiCaprio's character has been told by the feds to relinquish his company. And he gets in front of his employees and he's thinking, and then he goes, I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. They're going to have to get the National Guard to get me out of here. And that's, I guess, what happened. Before I get into all this, let's bring in Leslie so she can pop the condom and get this thing really started. I don't want to get too far from that. Hey,
we got a flat top today, and we do have a flat top today. And
no, that thing's got a point. No, that's not flat.
Oh, my head or the bottle?
No,
oh no,
yeah.
this one's got like a
that's got a cushion.
Going.
That's got a cushion for pushing.
I went to chill my wine today, and I chilled it in my cooler, i.e. I stuck it in the freezer, and so I had a slushy going for a while. I think that might have something to do with our dynamics.
I think she's
here.
talking all in code, but let's go with it. All right, here we go.
So here we go.
Slowly, she went sideways. There it is.
Well, And these days, everything's going sideways. So what the hell?
And that you said is a flat top wine? That's what it's called?
Yeah. It's a flat top Chardonnay.
All
Tasty
right.
little wine.
Good.
And
Good,
it's
good.
got cool bottle art because that's a cutout right there. So
Oh,
I got that going on.
okay. Is that a mouth? Is that a cutout of a
Pardon?
mouth? Is that a mouth?
No, it is supposed to look like the bottom of a glass of wine.
Oh, okay. I just saw that.
It's
Okay, yeah.
very subtle.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. There, the stem would be from that. Okay.
And there's the condensation from sticking it in the freezer. I
Again,
know that's not cool.
Yeah,
All the
again.
cool kids have wine coolers
I
and they
know.
do all that stuff. I still stick ice cubes in mine if need be. So
Yeah.
screw
Hey,
that noise.
let me acknowledge some people who've checked in so far. You got Martin, who is here every week from British Columbia. Hello, Martin. And Dale, the Sausage King of Chicago, is with us. Linda is from Chicago. Daniel from Loves Park said the solar panels were getting a workout today in Loves Park, Illinois.
Oh,
Barb
good for you guys.
Barb has joined us and is going commando. That means in general for the Friday shows when we have no guest, that's called the commando show. And there's Barb from Arizona. She said, let's go commando. I agree. And Mike, he's glad March is over. Brian's got the Luxardo cherries in motion. Stephen from Palos Park, Illinois. Tracy from Racine, Wisconsin. Tracy, as we mentioned this week, said, hey, can you remove 2 of the 5 schnauzers on your list as welcome to the GarrForce cocktail show? Because 2 of them are just inbreeding nonsense. So
Right.
what 2 are being removed?
Sorry, kids, but you aficionados of toys and teacups, they're gone.
Yeah, because that's bad science.
Yeah, definitely some bad breeding processes. Hey, be glad we don't talk about pugs and other short-snouted dogs because Tracy and I got onto a roll with those.
Yeah.
But,
Well, she
yeah.
did say if you want, you can put the bushy schnauzer in as a replacement, and I agree. Let's do that.
Okay, so we are miniature, standard, bushy, and giant.
Nice.
I like those 4.
I know
That's
that's a
fun.
nice group. We welcome that, and all Dutch wives are welcome. No
Always.
exclusions there. What did Keely-Ann have to say, Alan? I don't know what she said. I'm going to see it as you will for the first time. I met a gal named April. We're hooking up later for a play date with our schnauzers. No fooling. Okay, I'm sure there is some
Wow.
fooling going on, and I like that. Okay, that's nice. And now we go to the screen door and see who's out there. The screen door that Tracy sent me. This is Lee, Doug at 847, Ringo
Can I ask a
Smith.
question?
Yes.
Should the support be on the bottom? Or is that the top of the screen door?
Well,
I
see,
think that's-
here's my issue. This is a woman who's married to a contractor, and she's going to notice all this stuff, and she's probably right.
Wait, here we go. Ready?
There you go. The
Am I
support
right? Is
should
it
be
right?
on the
Is it
bottom.
right now?
It's right. It's
Now
right now.
it is. I'm
Okay.
sorry, but
Gregory,
we strive for accuracy even when it's a teeny tiny.
I should
screen
know
door.
better that if I screw up anything in the construction realm, that I will be corrected, and I appreciate that. Donna, Mary said that she worked with me at a at a TV station. Yes, Mary. Mary is a
Mary.
camera, or they call them photographers. Mary was one of the best photographers I ever worked with. She was great. Hello,
Wait.
Mary.
Is that the sweary Mary of WGN lore?
What does that mean?
There is a woman who has been a camera operator at WGN for a while now,
On Around Town
And-
with Anna.
and she is one of my faves. If you're not sweary Mary, cool.
It's probably her, because I don't think there are a lot of Mary
It is. It's
photographers.
sweary Mary.
It is
Oh,
Sweary Mary. That's why I
Thank
like
you for
Mary.
joining us. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
She always made me look
You-
better when we did these pieces together. So thank you, Mary. And it's good to see you on the GarrForce Cocktail Show.
Did she apply makeup, or was it just trying to get you the right lighting?
No,
kind of thing?
the camera person can really make or
Oh, they
break
could
you.
screw you so
yeah,
badly.
they could do so many things that will just kneecap you. And she always made me look good as I could look.
Oh.
Thank you, Mary. Okay. where to begin. How it was one of those weeks, and I think we're all having weeks like I had where everything seems to be out of sync, and it's in the atmosphere. It's just the general atmosphere, and it seeps down into our beings, and we
Our
really,
psyches, yes.
yeah, and it's just where the week was all over the map, and I couldn't get my bearings. And about 3 hours ago, I started to get some bearings, but the whole
Oh,
week,
did you?
yeah, I got some
So
bearings.
you started drinking early today or no?
Bingo. No. I started drinking yesterday. That's where I started drinking. But I've already gotten into the Manhattan pretty heavy here because I
Well,
needed it.
with good reason. How much of your wackadoo week are you wanting to share?
Well, the dog was ill. And when the
Yeah,
dog's ill, because the dog, if you have a dog or a cat, when you have cats, they
right.
kind of keep you grounded and make you feel good when things aren't good because they're the
Oh, and
center
that
where, yeah.
yeah.
And when they're not having a good time, that sets everything off because that's what you go to. Those are the animals that you want to have around you, those dogs, those cats, to make you feel
Right.
like, hey, the world's gonna be okay because they
They
don't
look at
care.
you with those eyes and it's
Yeah,
like, "You're the coolest thing
yeah,
on the
yeah.
planet."
I don't
Yeah.
care about Ukraine. That kind of thing. I don't care
Exactly.
about high gas prices. And you
I
need
don't
that,
know.
and then when they're not feeling well, but we went to the vet and he's feeling much better, so now I feel
Good.
better, and it's all in sync there. Everything's in
But you
sync.
did have a moment with that all
Yeah.
of us pet owners have experienced, and we're into hairball season, we cat owners. So there are those mornings where you step out of bed and you're not exactly looking where you're walking and
Yeah, and step right in it. Yep, that happened. Yeah, at 3 in the morning. Oh, well.
cheers.
Oh, well. Hey, if that's the worst that I'm doing what a lot of people are doing. Well, I had a bad day, but then I think of these poor people in Ukraine with their suitcases running to where we don't know, they don't know, and I think, okay, it's not that bad. So
Right.
let's get our focus here. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's not Bruce Willis bad. I mean,
Um
how about that?
Bru- Bruce Willis in the news today, the Razzies, the most inhospitable awards show on the planet, has decided to do him a solid, and they have decided that they were going to kind of give him a lifetime of Razzie Achievement Award. And in light of the news that came out this week about the aphasia, that maybe this isn't the time
Yeah,
to do that.
timing is everything, and they were going to basically make holy fun of him,
Oh,
and that ain't gonna happen now. Okay, going back to Will Smith for just a moment and that comment that I focused on from Wolf of Wall Street. That story came out this week that the Academy people did ask him to leave, and he said no. And I could just see that whole scenario. Can you please leave after what you've done? I'm not fucking leaving. I'm
well,
not fucking leaving. Not only
and
did he
this is where
not leave, he stayed, and they gave him an award.
and
It's
they
kind of
said,
like,
and
I'm not leaving, and I
everybody
want an
stood up
award.
and cheered.
Yeah, and I want to
On
get a
top of that,
standing ovation.
well, it turns out that maybe they didn't really ask him to leave, that they're doing damage control because the Academy is starting to realize, oh,
Yeah,
we
they
got
are all over
nothing
the
after
map.
this. I
Yeah,
mean, unless they stage cage matches next year for awards, and wouldn't that be cool if like the two top contenders for best supporting actress have to get inside a cage and
and pull
battle
their
it out?
hair. Yeah, and do all that stuff. Hey,
That's where we're going.
I'm wondering if Chris Rock has decided, and maybe Smith dropped a call on him and said, "Hey, can you give a brother a break or something?" Because Chris did this show Wednesday night in Boston and almost didn't talk at all
No,
about it and said he's still processing it. And I'm wondering if something happened. And I think that's really sad because Chris was I think a very strong person on Sunday to do what he did in light of what happened. Now let's make hay with that, Chris, and just go out and do comedy about it. I don't think that's bad, but apparently he's not going to do that because if he didn't do it Wednesday, he's not going to do it. I think somebody made a call.
Well, and they're saying that he's got a series of shows. They're trying to sell tickets, let's face it.
Okay, but
He's
if
got a
they're
series of shows coming up in the summer, and maybe
oh
he'll
yeah,
be
okay, yeah,
bullshit.
okay.
Um, yeah. Well, the coolest check-in on this though of late has been Ricky Gervais, who said, "You know what? I would never have made fun of Jada Pinkett Smith's hair, but I would have talked about her screwing the kid's boyfriend and
That's where you
turning
want
Will
your
into a
Ricky.
cuckold."
That's
And
my Ricky. Oh yeah, if he was up there and that happened, that would have been gold,
oh,
Jerry, gold.
not to
Hey,
mention, I don't know that he would take a punch quite so well.
no, I don't think that would have just gone
A
the way it
slap.
went, where Chris just went, I won't say anything else. Sorry, yeah, or whatever he said, and now he's not even using it for his comedy routine. But get this,
Yeah,
here's how
somebody
history
made it
repeats
call.
itself. I was watching a Carson show the other night from 1981.
Okay.
Carson gets on in his monologue. It's the night after the Oscars, which he hosted, and he did all kinds of jokes about how long it went. He said, "Yeah, I think it was just about 3.5 hours." Or he go, is it over yet? It's 24 hours? Is it? And they're doing all the. I'm thinking this
This
is
is 40 years
40.
and they still haven't
Yeah,
freaking figured it out. Okay,
and then he had
fair.
Roger Moore on as a guest, and Roger was talking about when he was a presenter back in the 70s, and Marlon Brando was given an award but didn't show up and sent this woman dressed as a Native American to turn it down, Sasheen Littlefeather, and
Okay,
that weirdness.
and this is why I love working with Gary aside. This is why I love working with Gary because we mentioned her the other day and I was trying to allude to her and he pulled her name out of the hat just like that. I
There are
mean,
things that
that's
stick.
Jeopardy kind of
Well,
retrieval.
that's the little nonsense that I catalog. I
Well,
don't know if that's good or bad, but it's in there, and I can pull that out. But then I can't remember somebody I met a week ago.
well, there is
Yeah,
that thing.
yeah.
It's yeah, it's like the storehouse at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's sometimes hard to know what box some of that stuff's in, but
I
oh
want to
well.
do a little promotion here of a show coming up in 2 weeks because I know people like Jenna Duddleton on the show. She's the official bartender of the GarrForce, and she will be on the Friday before Easter with her, and that's her podcast, Bar Talk. She's going to have an Easter drink, and per the request of a listener, the listener asked if she could give the recipe for the drink she's going to make, and then I could post it days in advance so people can make the drink that she's going to make as she's making it. And I'm going to do that. And Jenna said, "Great, I'll be glad to do that." I don't know what the drink is yet, but that's 2 weeks from tonight. That's the Friday. Now, it's Good Friday, right? Isn't
Yeah,
that
so
Good
this gets
Friday?
it gets a little, yeah. So there's fasting and abstinence for us Catholics, but I don't know quite how the liquor works into that. I haven't given up liquor for Lent. That's clear. So ah,
Yes.
we'll figure it all
And
out.
I'm sticking
But
to my promise for Lent, Leslie. I have given up being entertaining for Lent. And as you can see, I've been
this
very devout about that.
shush.
Yeah.
Um and kudos to Jenna. Every time she's been on, she's taught us something. Some
Yeah.
really important things like how to get mini bottles of some of the ingredients that we'll be using down the road a piece because everybody knows if you have one of those bars or in our case a solarette, you make these cocktails and you buy like a regular size bottle and there it sits for the next 6 years until you
Right.
have to either dump it or some alcoholic shows up at your house. She's so cool. She taught us how to use like, oh no, you can get little bottles of this and that and the other thing. So this is very cool. She is awesome.
Karen wants to know if I'm going to, and you sent me this picture that Karen is referring to. It was from a number of years ago. Garry, are you going to tell us about the pants you have on in the bowling picture on Facebook, on my Facebook page? Leslie pulled this picture out from, it's got to be at least 30 some years ago. And we were at some bowling event for the radio station.
Right.
And I have these pants on, and all I can say is either because of the way it's cropped, it either looks like I have a kilt on or these funky pants that are, they look like bowling pants. That's what I picture people bowling in the 50s. I don't have any
Well,
history. I don't know where I bought them. I, I thought, well, this is a good place to wear these pants, a bowling alley.
Well, and with that, the bigger question is generally one only starts wearing that weird arm brace when one is a really serious
Okay,
bowler.
that is not that because that goes through a finger and around your wrist. That was an ace bandage. I have no idea why I had that on. This is a long time ago.
Well, but good bowl or really
I know.
serious bowlers always have that. So either they all have carpal tunnel or it does something to control the ball better. But dude, you look the part there. There we
There it
are.
is. Yeah,
God,
see,
we were
that's just
babies.
wrapped. I don't know if I did it for effect or I pretended I did. I did a lot of bowling, and that's what I had as a brace. And there you are handling your 18 pounder.
Um, did you ever belong to a bowling league in your
No,
life?
no,
Okay.
no. I
Which
bowled in my entire life, maybe 8 times.
okay.
Yeah.
So you got that 115 average going.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
80 to
That's cool.
115. Hmm.
Whatever it takes.
Tracy says they look like old pajama bottoms. They're from what I remember, they're sweatpantsy and the kind of thing I just wear at home. But I thought it's a bowling thing. It'll be funny to have plaid kind of. I don't. Hey,
Well,
listen, you were there. A lot of the
and
stuff was done in a fog.
damn straight. And with that, everybody knows kilts and bowling don't seem like they should go together.
No, because
Kilts and golfing, that's a whole different
right,
animal.
because
But
with
yeah,
bowling you're stretching sometimes, and that would
you're
rise up.
leaning. Yeah,
Oh yes, I don't know,
clown
but
pants.
anyway,
Come on, Donna.
what were you doing to find that picture? How did that just pop up?
So it turns out that we really started looking at some of the things that are sitting out in the garage in bins, stuff that I really thought would matter at this stage of my career. And then you go, you know what? This probably is only interesting to a handful of people. That picture I figured might be interesting to more than just a handful, but there are things out in that garage, like stuff I've saved from convicts that used to write me
Oh,
letters from prison and things like that were quirky at the time, and now it just seems creepy that I'm hanging on to those and not
really?
like
You think
birthday
that
cards
that
from
would
my
seem
mom.
creepy? That would seem creepy even at the time.
Well, because it was just getting a letter. I don't know. For those of you who have friends and relatives of ill repute, when you get a letter from the penal system, it would be in a special envelope, and then your envelope from the convict would be inside that. And there would be redactions, I guess, when they just got over their skis.
Mhm,
And it was fascinating. I held on to it for scientific reasons as opposed
mhm.
to anything emotional.
Leslie, I'm in prison for a number of years, but if I get out, I love you, even though I've killed my family, and maybe we
Right.
have a chance. And
Well, how many times have we talked about the women who like look at a Charlie Manson and go, you know
yes,
what? I think I could change
he
him.
had a lot of women that loved him.
One of the Menendez brothers, some girl is like, yeah, that's the guy for me, and he got married in prison
Yes,
after he killed his parents. Although his parents would have thought twice about putting their sons in prison for life, but oh
right.
yeah, they murdered them.
That's like
So
Sirhan. If Robert Kennedy were alive, he'd parole me, but you killed him. Kind of a
so that's gonna be
thing
a little
there.
hard. Yeah.
And did you destroy those?
I haven't yet. I
No.
well,
Something for your daughter to go through someday. Oh, the prisoners
and
that
she's
love
gonna
my
look at
mommy.
them and go, "Why? Why did she save all this?" Oh, wait, you guys, hang on. I did find this. Shoot, if we were gonna do April Fool's pranks, I was gonna say that I found Gary's what do you call
Uh-oh.
it?
His, his
His
cert
Botox
my
University
degree.
degree.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I
You
admit that was me. I did it once,
you
like
did.
a long, long time ago, let it wear off and realized I'm not chasing that thing. There's no way you can keep
And
up
they
with
gave
it.
you that
Next thing you know,
certificate as part of it?
yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
I graduated from Botox U, everybody.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I start looking at these pictures and think, Did that really happen? As Urkel would say, did I do that?
Did I do that? Oh,
And
you've got a lot of them.
I like when listeners send me something on a topic we did 30 years ago and I had forgotten about, and a line that I said, and I thought, oh, if I said that, I feel pretty happy because that's a pretty good line. And the one that now is sticking, and it didn't stick until it was brought up a few months back by a listener. I was talking about the movie Titanic when the ass end of the ship was straight up, and DiCaprio and Winslet are hanging there, and the people are falling. I said the people that were falling were going hee-haw into the ocean. And there it is.
It's a wonderful life until it's not anymore.
Yes. Wait, is that Ryan's Titanic, or does Keith have a Titanic?
No,
that's Keith's Titanic.
Yeah, it's dueling Titanics on this show. Producer Keith, that's his. And Keith, did he make that? He made that. Yes. Yeah, Keith, you made that from scratch, right?
Yeah, I made that totally from scratch.
Out of balsa wood.
Yes.
With it's a kit, or you just decided I'll do it on my own. I'll cut every little piece, and it's a kit.
No,
right?
no, I cut every little piece all by myself.
That's a kit.
No,
that's a kit.
No. I made it 100% on my own.
That's Keith's brain.
Oh my God.
That's Keith's brain not on drugs and alcohol.
Now, Wisconsin reporter Ryan, he did the Lego bricks Titanic. And Ryan, is that finished?
It is finished. It's in display in my wife's office. So,
okay.
Yeah, and there's a guest speaker coming to a commencement in the area in May, and one of the commencement speakers is the person that found the Titanic. So she's threatening to buy another one, put it together, and then stalk him so he can sign it.
Okay. The Titanic mystery was solved by moi. When I went to see the Titanic exhibit, they had a film of it being built. And as I'm watching this, I zaprudered the bejesus out of it. And I noticed the riveters were fascinated by the movie camera, because we're talking early 1900s when the movie camera was very new. And as they were looking at the movie camera, I noticed they were missing some riveting. They're not hitting every rivet. You're not hitting every rivet. And then we know what happened. I swear to God, if you see that display anywhere, they show this movie, watch the riveters. There's your SVUIE investigation, whatever that is.
Law,
the crime
order,
network.
Yeah, CIS, whatever.
Yeah, CIS. They're the CSI, whatever, CIS, UPS, whatever it is. That's what it is.
And if they would have had a few more, it would have been fine.
Yeah, they missed a few, because what's that?
Yeah.
What is that guy doing? What is that box? And then they moved on,
and nobody checked their work
because they said it was unsinkable. It was it was its maiden voyage, and it sunk. Holy shit!
And it still lives
that's
on.
A bad day. See, your dog shits on the carpet. That's a bad day.
Yeah.
Sinking a big giant boat because you forgot a couple of rivets. That's a really bad
day. There, in your sequence of bad days, dog shitting on the carpet goes down. Right, compared to the Titanic.
Walter wants to say, what? No collectors this week? Well,
oh, wait a minute, Walter. Glad you brought that up.
we should,
No collectors. I don't know if you're mocking, but here is a follow-up to last week's show with Bill Leff and Greg Potter. Greg Potter not only collects, he gets in the costumes. There he is in the Black Lagoon costume. He owns the costume.
Wow.
Yeah, that's serious. And I guess when he was on vacation, he said he walked out to the pool in the costume, and his wife said, no. You're not going to hang around the pool in that.
No hotel pools. No hotel pools, he said.
Yeah, I think it'd scare the kids. I'm just going to take a wild guess.
Well, on top of that, I got the funny feeling that's the kind of thing that might fill with water and weigh you down. Do you remember there was a little fad a ways back where brides or I guess it would have to be after the ceremony, would go out to the ocean with their husbands and take photos, and they would get in the water, and it was supposed to be all beautiful and sexy until all that material got saturated with water, and then a bunch of them drowned. And I guess they realized maybe that's not so cool after
We
all.
lost a lot of good brides out there.
We totally did.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the dance floor where the casket is being rolled in.
Exactly. That first dance.
And it wasn't even with a shark bite. I mean, there was no shark attacks. It was their own stupidity.
Yeah. Okay. And now that Ryan is on screen, let me acknowledge right now that he has completed a road trip from Wisconsin to South Carolina. And he did it in 2 sections. But on Sunday, he said he's gonna do it gonzo. He's gonna go from point A to point B and not stay overnight anywhere. I don't know how. It's 13 hours.
It is. I had to come down here for some business, so it was 13 hours. I did 10, and then I stopped at a Airbnb for $35. So I was a little skeptical coming in the middle of the night, but it was actually a nice place. There I am posing in the bathroom at the Airbnb.
Oh, it looks like a nice clean bathroom. And how do you get in?
With just the keypad. There's a keypad right outside the door. So
all right, $35. I mean, that's so cheap.
It is, and it was probably cleaner than the hotel. I forgot the light to check, but I got in
your
at
black
1
light?
in the morning. Yeah, my black light.
You didn't black light the mattress?
I did it. I didn't, but it was one of those adjustables. I found a remote over my head. You could put the foot into the bed up. You could put the head, you could make the bed do all that stuff. So it was kind of a fun adventure.
Did you check the air ducts and the alarm clock to see if there were maybe any cameras in the room?
That's what everybody kept asking.
Did you do some V-boy dancing or anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say, where do you think the bathroom picture came from?
So I said, hey, if they want to take pictures of me,
that's from their camera. He just
they just sent it to him. Dude, you look good.
You're looking good.
Hey, saw you in our bathroom. Here's a copy. Wow. All that for $35?
All that for $35? Yeah. And then I woke up this morning, Alan, if you want to show the picture. I looked up.
You're right. Right. His kidney was missing and something was written on the mirror. If you want your kidney back, the room was 35, your kidney's 3,000.
Right.
That's how they do it.
But if I left the space heater on, they were going to come after me. There was a note on it. But I look out the window and there's a black cat on top of the truck and there's people standing around taking pictures at 6:30 this morning. So I took a picture just
because the black cat on a truck.
Look, it's a cat on a truck.
It's a black cat on a truck. Look at that. And that's how they talk in Knoxville, right?
That's a pretty cat. Let's get some pictures.
It's a cat on a truck.
So
I'm
I get
sorry
done with
for stereotyping everybody.
I get done with that adventure and go to McDonald's and thought, boy, that just run in quick in and out. And by the time I had my food, there was almost a fight in the lobby. They wouldn't wait on anybody at the counter. All of the people in there were a little older and didn't know how to operate the kiosks. So there was like 20 people and the McDonald's staff were mad. And it just turned into what the heck is going on?
These older people were afraid the screen might steal their soul.
Well, they didn't want to take their credit card could get stuck in it, or that they could get their identity stolen, or they could get 6 cups of coffee and they only want 1.
Wow.
So it turned out to be a real mess in that McDonald's, then people refused to help them at the counter. Nope, we have the kiosk. Okay. That's all we're going to do.
Here, I'm going to put this out here right now. If any of you see me at a McDonald's and I refuse to operate the screen, come and Will Smith bitch slap me right there, and you have my full permission. Yeah.
I had to do it at my first Sonic drive-in, and it's like, wait, are people supposed to come to my window? No, hell no. You have to punch it in now.
And that's how we
got it. 72 hours, but I finally got my order in there.
And that's how we got your credit card, right? It was published then on the internet.
And my soul.
And your soul. Yeah. It's all in there now. So how much litter, this is my question, of course, how much litter is from Waukesha, Wisconsin to South Carolina?
All over. Everything from, I'm going to say good litter to bad litter. Good litter meaning for several miles, I was dodging cones that looked like they fell out of a truck. And they were all over the road. Cones.
Just cones.
Like the orange cones.
Orange cones.
And then otherwise it was trucks going way too fast, people being crazy, and then just litter all over. Everything from tires to
a lot of tires,
bags of trash just laying on the side of the road.
It's from coast to coast. I don't understand what's going on. Why do people do that?
The roadkill is actually dragging itself off to the side going, I don't want to be part of this.
Right. I don't want to be seen in this trash.
That's used to what you'd see, just roadkill. But now it's, everything but roadkill. Yeah. But I did see in Kentucky, they're building new rest areas. So they're not open yet, but I did see brand new shiny rest areas. So
new rest areas. What was the gas range from Waukesha to South Carolina?
Mid high threes to 425 to 450. Kind of depends on where you were at.
That's not too bad considering high threes. No. This is what's going to happen. It's going to get down to 350 and we're going to think we won the lottery.
Right.
350 sounds like a gift.
Ooh.
Yeah. I hit my head on the wall because it feels so good when I stop. That's what it's going to be. As I mentioned, a friend of mine in Los Angeles called me yesterday and said he went by a station 780.
Wow.
780.
Wow.
I know it's California and they burn more fuel and it's always been high, but 780, can you believe that?
So Ryan could get 2 nights at his Airbnb for the price of a fill-up.
I could.
Right.
I would dance at that point. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it was otherwise it was just and if you turned on the news, you hit Ukraine politics, and then if you turned on podcast, it was, or other channels, it was murders and serial killers. So yeah, I stuck to the GarrForce for both.
Thank you. I'm hearing from people who are doing this. They didn't start with us 7 years ago, so they're starting back when we started. And one of the listeners said, I just hit when the pandemic started. And your discussion about that is really interesting in that there was one death at that point, and we all thought it was the flu on steroids and no big deal. And to hear it as a time travel piece now is really interesting. So I suggest, Ryan, you get on the podcast. You probably have heard all of them though, right?
I've heard most of them, but the ones from a long time ago would be worth re-listening to. Otherwise, my head will explode with the talk of politics in Ukraine.
I mentioned my road trip to New York a couple of weeks ago and listened to traditional. I can't even say it. I have a lazy
drink is gonna definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a lazy tongue, and watch it. Okay.
And a purty mouth.
And oh my God, some of the stuff I heard, I mentioned it on the previous podcasts. I can't believe it's the kind of stuff where, and I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, you're doing what you're criticizing now, Holden Caulfield. Okay, if I hear it in my head and it's coming out and I know it's lame, I'm going to call it lame. I'm going to claim it.
Right.
If I hear one more person tell me the time, the temperature, and what day of the week it is, I'm going to fucking drive into a concrete abutment. Okay, and every time this person came out of his music, he would tell me the time, the temperature, and what day of the week it was, as if I couldn't figure out any of those things.
You weren't supposed to be listening that long, Gary. So you were only supposed to hear that once or twice.
Right. I guess you should move on because you wouldn't like all the music he's playing. Oh, Jesus. And then this male-female team. Hey, are you going to eat that donut? Can I have that donut? Are you going to eat that donut? That was 5 minutes.
My favorite thing on radio these days is how many, and there should be a drinking game, although not if you're in the car. When people go, look at that.
Look, like it's a visual medium. Hey, look at that. We worked with somebody who did that all the time. Oh, there! Look who's walking down the hallway here. Who? I don't know.
Who just walked in. Yeah.
I was listening to a guy that we worked with. He was on a remote, and he had Mr. T on. And get this. This is how in tune Mr. T was. This person was going, hey, look at that. Who's coming down over here? And Mr. T went, we're on the radio. Nobody can see what you're talking about. Mr. T had to dress him down.
And now that spring's coming, it'll be time for the radio pranks, right? The sitting on the billboards or
today, I don't know what they did for April Fool's Day. I highlighted that one that I heard about years ago. First of all, Tim says, got in the car, and the first thing the guy says, the DJ says, 3 days till the weekend. That's the other thing, the countdown to the weekend. That's all they want to do. The April Fool's prank that of radio lore was probably the weirdest. The guy in Boston, in the morning show said that the mayor of Boston was killed in a car accident on his way to work. That was his April Fool's joke. And stayed with it, and they physically yanked him off the air.
Right.
Because he kept going with it. Yeah, he was pronounced dead about an hour ago, and really sad. Like, wow, who would come up with that?
Let's face it, there were easily 50 stations today, and I'm averaging this on the low end, who changed their format.
Yeah.
So first thing this morning, you tuned in and they went country or they went classical.
Yeah.
And
okay, here's what I would have done. That station in every town that plays Christmas music from October through December, go back to Christmas music today and then stay with it.
Yeah.
This is the day you do it and go, oh, it's an April Fool's joke. Stay with it because the ratings are going to be in the ballpark, on par with all the other radio stations. I swear to God, you'll be in the game, even if you played all year. Do it. Do it.
It would be, and how much cooler would it be when you tune in on April 2nd and you're still
going
hearing
Christmas.
Holly Jolly Christmas.
Right.
Oh
that's the funny part. It's not an April Fool's joke. There's the deflated Santa. Go with it. Oh,
so after I'm all my driving and I'm back on the road, my wife calls me a day and she said, I created a memo for April Fools. And I said, what? And she said, I put a memo on the copier that said it's now voice activated. And it's by my office. So I want to hear what happens. So she was finding it more funny herself than I did. I said, I don't think that's.
Wait a minute. Explain what you just said.
So she created a memo with the font and it looked like it was official and tacked it on the copier and said the copier is now voice activated, hoping someone would come up and say, copier, make me a copy.
That was her April Fool's joke.
Okay.
That was her April
That's
Fool's.
cute. That's sweet. Nobody
but she
got
was
hurt.
she called and said, and I said, I don't understand what you're saying. Never mind.
Yeah.
So that was her April Fool. That was her fun. And then Henry set the clock back at home thinking that was his April Fool's. And then everybody forgot about it. And he was almost late for school. So
that was his deal
his deal.
Yeah. I'll sleep later. And I'm doing my own April Fool's joke and enjoying it.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to set it forward and you're early, but a half hour back.
Yeah.
But
a half hour.
Kudos to a kindergartner who still understands that that's a prank as opposed to the adults out there who are like, and I hit him in the knee with a sledgehammer. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
No, see, that's not a prank.
Yeah. And he died in a
assault.
car wreck on his way to work. Before we get to your report, Ryan, let's pay homage to the fine sponsors. Alan, what do you say we talk about the Bettenhausen automotive people right now?
Get out of the office and into adventure during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Bettenhausen Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on 159th Street in Tinley Park. Right now, Bettenhausen has the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee L in stock. Lease a new 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Laredo for only $419 per month. Your best Jeep buying experience starts now at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
You see the Ukraine colors there? That's what Bettenhausen is doing there. They got the Ukraine. Yeah, and they have a little thing about Ukraine right there, I believe. That hand, if you want to donate, I believe that's what that's for. Hey, I was in the Fiat today, and I'm in a parking lot, and a woman pulls up next to me in a Mini Cooper, and she comes to my window. Hey, can I ask you something? I said, yeah. She says, hey, how do you like the Fiat? Because I'm thinking of getting rid of the Mini Cooper. I really like the way the Fiat looks. And I said, I love this car. Great gas mileage. And she said, boy, it really looks nice. And I love it. I've had it for 7 years now. And she was just really impressed. She said, I know some other people that have gotten Fiats and they really love them. So there, the Fiat. And they have them at Bettenhausen. And I don't have to go to the gas station all the time and grab my ankles.
You do that anyway, but
I do that, but that's a different thing. That's just fun.
Yeah,
at
that's
the gas
just
station.
for fun. Exactly.
Team Hochberg, if you need a mortgage or a refi or veterans loan or any of that stuff, David knows what to do. Please call for the free consultation and he'll set you up with all that information. Then hopefully you'll do business with David and his team. They have helped thousands of my listeners over the years. And David, I love this man so much because he helped me in so many ways on my radio show, financing different things that I gave away that the radio station didn't want to do. But that's what he does. He steps up. And that's what he does with his company. He helps people save money. And if that appeals to you, call that number, or go to the website. Check it out. All right. Yeah. There it is. Okay. Ryan has a report, and I don't know. Let's take a look, and then we'll discuss.
It's Wisconsin, yeah, hey.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan. Welcome to April. This week's going to be a little different. I've had some life changes that happened. We ended up relocating to the Knoxville, Tennessee area. So the Wisconsin report has transitioned now into the Tennessee report. I'm hoping you're going to still be able to enjoy what you've come to know and love from the Wisconsin side of things, only a little south now. So we're in a temporary house that I'm recording this video from, and will be more established in the next week, and I can look forward to telling you more interesting and fun things around the state of Tennessee. But before you leave, I was reading today that beer in Tennessee, much like people in Wisconsin love our beer, is going to cost more money. Now that the Ukraine and Russian conflict is going on for much longer than everybody maybe thought it was going to be, beer costs are on the rise. So many of the breweries around the Knoxville area are going to begin raising their prices as of today, April 1st. It will not be an April 1st fool's joke for most people, but I'll keep an eye on the beer and other activities in the Knoxville area. I'll talk to you next week with the Tennessee report.
Ryan texted me earlier and he said, "Hey, I'm going to pretend I moved to Tennessee." And I said, "You know what I think about April Fool's Day, Ryan? It has lost its fizz. Go ahead." And it looked like you amputated your hands. That would have been a great April Fool's joke.
And my background's not working, so
yeah. Okay. Well,
hang on.
Is that the Tennessee flag?
It is. The
we saw it. You just dropped it out.
Oh, you did see it. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the.
Oh.
Okay.
It's not showing in my end. Hang on.
All right, but there's
There
the
it is.
Tennessee flag, and it's kind of like we want to do the Confederate flag, but it's got too much ugliness around it. So let's kind of do it, and we'll have a few of the elements, but we'll get away with it if we do it this way. Is that what it is?
So the funny part is that was why I was in the bathroom. So I ended up getting a late start because we had snow, and it turned into a debacle. So that's why I was in the bathroom with that camera. So it wasn't.
Yeah, this is a frame of the video before it went through processing.
And then he lost his hands when he did the green screen.
When he put his hands too close to that towel, the virtual background made his hands disappear.
So
you see it?
You said you saw a store that sells all Confederate stuff.
Yes. So coming maybe 5 miles outside Greenville, South Carolina, Carolina Dixie. All it sells is mostly Confederate flags, and I hadn't been down here.
Here
in a couple years,
I am in the land of cotton. I need stuff that's not forgotten.
It's got nothing to do with slavery. It's about what we wanted to do, which was leave the United States. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, and McDonald's carries biscuits and gravy, so that was kind of a change. So that was what I was waiting for in the lobby of McDonald's when the fight broke out. I was waiting for biscuits and gravy.
Hey, I can't operate the screen.
No,
it steals my soul, I think.
And then the guy said, "Well, Chuck's figuring it out. Maybe we can do it." So it was just this whole like, what universe am I in? I mean, that was an April Fool's enough. It was like, and then the drive-throughs like backed up out in the street. It's like, where am I at?
Yeah, you're in your new home of Tennessee. You
That's
moved
right.
from Wisconsin to Tennessee.
You know, the United States of America is actually like 50 different countries, and we're all so very unique in so many ways.
Yes, there's that flag, but then there are other flags that represent the United States too, like the people that wanted to leave the United States.
Right. And I think the Wisconsin graphic looks, Tennessee's a different shape. So I'm happy to go back to Wisconsin on Sunday, but I don't.
It is, yeah. Whoever drew those borders really not imaginative, and yet very effective. They didn't have to waste a lot of extra ink to draw those lines.
No, it's very, very tight. Are you driving? Are you really driving straight through 13 hours?
I don't know. I'm going to try to get, if I can get to the bottom. If I can get to Indiana, I might just pull over. But I think as you asked in the pre-show, is there a reason you have to go back to work on Monday? No, there really
isn't. I
wouldn't.
If you can, break it up, because that's a tough trip.
Yeah, especially if maybe I'll burn through all the podcasts and then I'll be stuck with stuff I don't want to listen to.
Well, I'll give you permission to use a few serial killer podcasts on your way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Richard Speck. We'll go way back to the Richard. Speck.
Go back to Speck. All right. All right.
Lordy.
Thanks,
Okay.
Ryan. I hope you have a good time.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, buy it. You're in South Carolina. The Carolinas have a lot of winners, it seems, in the lottery.
Lottery
Buy some
tickets.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll go through South Carolina, North Carolina. So I'm gonna make some pit stops to get some tickets.
And you're doing this is a business trip, right?
Part of it's a business trip. Part of it's a stroller delivery.
All the way to deliver a stroller. This is a stroller that Hank used.
Yeah, it was Hank's stroller. Our good friend South Carolina, their daughter had a baby, and they said, "Hey, can we use Hank's stroller?" And I said, "Sure. How about I deliver it?"
Have you seen the price of strollers?
Yeah.
For frack's sake, it costs as much as my first car, and that's how old I am. I know. Shut up. But holy shnikes, they're like $1,800.
Yeah, this is a jogging one that I was thinking it was north of $5, but I think we got it as a shower gift from someone. I don't know, but yeah, so that was really part of the trip was just
everything's expensive. Everything now. It's not just strollers, it's everything. It's crazy.
Except around here where we give away shit for free. And with that, we should probably set up the giveaway.
Let's do that. And
got a hashtag April Fools, because we're not, this is the way you want to do April Fools. And and the joke is I'm not sending you anything. No, I will. I'll send you your prize.
Okay. She's going to give you the Botox certificate.
Botox University, include that.
Yeah.
Do you guys, I'll give you the option. You can either have the Botox University certificate or
hashtag April Fools for whatever she pulls out of that fun bag.
Botox treatment, a free trip to get Botox treatment.
What is it?
Bums away flying poo thrower.
Okay, wow, that's appropriate for me this week.
That's a vortex, Gary.
Wow.
But you will be able to pick, right? You can either have that or the Botox
seriously,
University certificate.
Take your pick.
All right, that's your choice if you win. So put in April Fools, hashtag April Fools, all one thing.
All one, no apostrophes.
Yeah, and then the computer will randomly pick the winner in just a few minutes.
Oh, cool.
How about that?
Wow, a poo thrower. Lucky you.
Yeah, baby. All right, what do you bring to the party?
I bring to the party?
Hey, here's my excuse. Look at that. Done.
You talk pretty, he say. You bring nice stuff.
Yeah, I make fun of people on radio because I'm qualified.
Because they don't talk nice.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I know we've kind of had it up to here with the Oscars, but because of the slap heard round the world, we didn't do a deep dive into the swag bag. So I should mention that with so much moisturizer included in this year's Oscar swag bag, it's surprising Hollywood doesn't just slide off the planet. But skincare products were not the only things included in this $140,000 bag of goodies. Okay, it's not necessarily a bag. It's a collection of goodies that was handed out to Oscar attendees. Other interesting items this year? Well, lots of booze, TurboFlex eyewear, books, some stuffed animals, a Kwai doll courtesy of Serena Williams, chocolates, a hair detangler, jewelry, socks, a $25,000 home makeover, and perhaps my favorites, a company called Highland Titles gifted each recipient with an honorary title of Lord, or Lady, and 1 square foot parcels of land in Scotland's Glencoe Wood that they can visit at any time.
And they
on top of that,
what? One more thing?
And on top of that, if you decide to do that thing in Scotland, while you're there, there's also a 3-night stay at Turin Castle in Scotland, complete with a whiskey tasting and a personalized concierge service.
And they go in these tents behind the venue and just walk down and pull this stuff off of tables and put it in a bag. And that's what they do. Or they hand the presenters this in total, as that's their payment for being a presenter. I guess that's how they pay them.
And ain't that the shits? You're there just to have a good time, people are just loving you up because you dressed in something other than your sweatpants, and you still get stuff on top of that.
Yeah,
So.
you make all this money and you still get a lot of good free stuff. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and you pointed that out. It is the weird thing where those folks who have a lot of money are the ones who get like the best
Yeah.
deals at and one more Oscar story. You should really rethink your life choices when even a notorious criminal calls you out on your bad behavior. O.J. Simpson joined the chorus of people commenting on Will Smith's Oscar slap. The Juice took to Twitter following the ruckus at Sunday's Oscar ceremony, calling Mr. Smith's smacking of Chris Rock wrong. But he did add a little bit of a caveat, quote, "Hey, look, it was unfortunate. I think Will was wrong, but I understood fully. In my life, I've been through a lot of crap. I was raising 2 young kids, and every comedian in the country had an OJ routine. And I don't think I would have wanted a slap and a couple of excuse me. And don't think I wouldn't want to slap a couple of those guys, but you have to accept humor."
He said, "We're lucky that Will didn't cut Chris's head off." Okay.
That's pretty much.
Wow.
I mean,
there's the pot calling the kettle black, huh?
Holy shnikes. I mean,
Yeah.
getting
OJ, come
spanked by
on.
OJ.
Yeah.
That would keep
Oh,
me up for a while.
yes.
And this cute story out of Texas, a flamingo that's been on the lam for almost 17 years has been spotted in Texas. Flamingo 492 is one of 2 flamingos that escaped from a zoo in Wichita, Kansas during a storm back in 2005. The one bird was never seen again. Maybe it was 291 or 491, 493. We don't know. But the one bird, 492, has been on the move ever since, with sightings over the years in Wisconsin, Louisiana, and now Texas. Earlier this month, an environmental activist was taking video of wild flamingos in Port Lavaca, and there was 492 right among them. For now, officials have no plans to try and trap the bird since he seems to be doing just fine on his own.
The flamingo sees a guy with a camera and puts on some sunglasses. Oh, I hope he doesn't see me. Oh, Jesus. I don't want to go back to that zoo. Fuck no.
He's going to be staying at Ryan's Airbnb tomorrow.
Exactly.
Dude, just
There's no way.
in.
No way, man. I'm not going back to that prison.
Do we want
it?
one more? Another
Sure.
feel good?
Sure.
So, because we need more feel goods. Opium production in Mexico is down thanks to a more lucrative and legal crop, trees. Mexico's Golden Triangle has long been known as a hotbed of cartel violence because of the region's booming marijuana and opium production. But a new push for sustainable forest management has made going legit a lot more appealing than dealing with gangs of murderous thugs. So far, 4 communities in the area have seen profits and lifestyles improve dramatically thanks to the focus on healthy, sustainable lumber production. And more communities now are expected to follow.
Yeah, they don't care as long as they can make money. It does cocaine, trees, whatever. And this is better.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, if you're cutting down trees and making wood boards, you're not going to end up hanging from an overpass with your head cut off.
And if we could
Seems
just
like a
get,
nice deal.
yes, if we could just get more gang members to be arborists, everything
There
would
you go.
be so much better. Hey, every month we feature a dog from the caninehero.org calendar. And you've heard us talk about this organization. This is Jason Johnson, who put this together. And here's what he does. He takes these dogs that have been retired from the TSA, police departments, and puts them in the sanctuary if they're not adopted by the handler. A lot of them are, but some of them aren't. And if they aren't adopted, then they go maybe to some kind of humane society. And you know what could happen there. Some kind of, yeah. So this is what Jason does. He takes these dogs, takes care of them, and then he helps with the legal or the medical expense. I don't know what legal expenses a dog would have. Dog, yeah. I got a legal. The dog.
Dude, I got a past I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I got into
I've
a
tried
Ponzi.
to turn my life around.
The dog got into a Ponzi scheme. It happens, you know. It comes out with the windbreaker on its head. I'm talking about medical bills. Listen, I have an excuse. What's yours? Mine's empty.
I need to close the blind.
Yeah, your head is floating above the sunshiny torso.
Lordy, that
Yeah.
was great. Yay,
Okay.
but it's
There.
okay.
There you go. Okay. So Jason takes these dogs, puts them in the sanctuary in Tennessee, and takes care of them, and then helps these people that have adopted these dogs with their medical expenses. Wow, what time is it? Okay, I'm going to get through this. I swear to God, it's
You're
been
a
a rough week.
professional, damn it.
It was a rough week. Okay, April features Canine Arlo, who served as a patrol apprehension canine with the Thurston County Sheriff's Office in Washington State. On January 13th, 2021, he was shot twice in a high-speed pursuit of an armed combative suspect. Arlo recovered after having life-saving surgery, but not to the degree that he was able to return to active duty. Since Arlo was forced into early retirement, all of his bills have become the responsibility of his handler. And since there are no public funds, which is hard to believe, set aside for retired canine heroes like Arlo, Arlo has been diagnosed with Wobbler's syndrome and will have many future medical expenses that he will need help with. Project Canine Hero is honored to cover Arlo's medical bills for life so that he can have the retirement he deserves after all that he did and went through to protect his community. That's what Jason does with these dogs. If you can buy the calendar, and he has other merchandise, that's how he keeps that sanctuary going. So please, if you can contribute anything to projectcaninehero.org, please do it. I mean, they don't have
Wobbler's
any
syndrome? What the hell is?
I don't know what Wobbler.
That's
I
what
have it
we
right
have
now.
after this show.
I have it right now, but that isn't the official one that
I know
Arlo had.
but yeah, his is definitely
Right.
a more
But
difficult
that's it.
thing.
The government doesn't provide for these dogs after they do this service with the TSA. You see them at the airports all the time, sniffing for explosives. Police departments. Oh, the government must take care of them when they retire. No. Okay. So anyway, that's that. Caninehero.org. Okay. We are ready, I think, Alan, to
Scott
pick a
from
winner.
North Aurora wanted to know if we wanted to see his new two-headed raccoon. And Scott,
What?
Yes, please send us the picture of your two-headed raccoon, and we will use it on a future show.
Okay, yes, send that picture. All right, let's hit the button, Alan, and see who wins. Ooh, Catherine.
Catherine!
All right, she gets either the condom and the poop shooter or the Botox certificate. She
There we
picks.
go.
And
So message Gary's Facebook account since you're a Facebooker, and let us know which one you want, and give us your address so we can have Leslie send that out to you.
All right, congrats. Okay, that's it. Let's give out that complimentary cannoli coming down the aisle. Please take the cannoli. And there it is. It's beautiful. What about the schnauzer, Leslie?
You know, whatever you do, don't pull a prank on it. And if in fact you have a bushy schnauzer, embrace the living hell out of it, because it's part of the new dynamic of the Garry
Right.
Meier show, GarrForce.
Exactly. It's part of the now 3. That's the 4th one. Embrace
That's number
it.
4.
Fetch on all 4s this weekend. Thank you for joining the Streaming Schnauzer once again, and we'll see you on Monday. Well, we won't see you. We'll talk to you. See you next Friday again on the Cocktail Show.
Hey, look!
Hey, look at that. 3 in the green. Gear is down. Flaps are down. The voice of the globe, the GarrForce, has landed.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce